Homecoming. All alluring beauties of foreign countries and all the beautiful memories of his sojourn in alien lands could neither make Rizal for his fatherland nor turn back to his own nationality. He remained at heart a true Filipino with an unquenchable love for the Philippines and an unshakable determination to die in the land of his birth. Decision to return. Because of the publication of Noli Me Tangere and the uproar it caused among the friars, Rizal was warned by Pasiano, his brother, Silvestre Ambaldo, his brother-in-law, Jose M. Cecilio, and other friends to return home. He was determined to return to the Philippines for the following reasons: to operate on his mother's eyes, to serve his people who had long been oppressed by the Spanish tyrants, to find out for himself how the Noli and his other writing were affecting the Filipinos and Spaniards in the Philippines, to inquire while Leonora Rivera remained silent. June 29, 1887, in Rome, Rizal wrote his father announcing for his homecoming. Delightful trip to Manila, July 3, 1887. He boarded the steamer Gemna, the steamer which brought him to Europe 5 years ago. There was about 50 passengers including 4 Englishmen, 2 Germans, 3 Chinese, 2 Japanese, many Frenchmen, and 1 not Filipino, which is Rizal. Rizal was the only among the passengers who could speak many languages, so that he acted as the interpreter for his companions. Arrival in Manila, August 5. The Hip Hong arrived in Manila. He stayed in the city for a short time. He found Manila the same as when he left in 5 years ago. Happy oncoming. On August 8, he returned to Calamba. His family welcomed affectionately, with plentiful tears of joy. His family became worried about his safety. Pasiano did not leave him to protect him from any enemy assault. In Calamba, Rizal established a medical clinic. For the first patient was his mother, who was almost blind. News of the arrival of a great doctor from Germany spread far and wide. Patients from Manila and other provinces flocked to Calamba. He was called Dr. Uliman because he came from the Germany. Rizal did not selfishly devote all his time to enriching himself. He opened a gymnasium for young folks and introduced European sports. He failed to see Leonora Rivera. Leonora's mother did not like him to be son-in-law. Storm over Noli. Few weeks after his arrival, Rizal received a letter from Governor General Emilio Terrero requesting him to come Malacañang Palace. When Governor General Terrero informed him of the charge, he denied it, explaining that he merely exposed the truth, but he did not advocate subversive ideas. Governor General Terrero was pleased by Rizal's explanation and curious about his book, and he asked the author to have a copy of the Noli so that he could read it. Rizal has no copy then because the only copy that he brought was given to his friend, but he promised to secure one for the General Terrero. Fortunately, Rizal found a copy and gave it to General Terrero. He knew that Rizal's life was jeopardy because of the priors were powerful. For security measures, he assigned a young Spanish lieutenant, Don Jose Tavel de Andrade, a bodyguard of Rizal. The banning of Nola Me Tangere served to make it popular. Everybody wanted to read it. News about the great book spread among the masses. Despite the government prohibition and the vigilance of the cruel Guardia Civil, many Filipinos were able to get hold of copies of the Noli, which they read at night behind the closed door. Defenders of Noli Me Tangere: Marcelo H. Del Pilar, Dr. Antonio Graciano Lopez Haena, Mariano Ponce, and other Filipino reformists in foreign lands rushed to uphold the truths of the novel. Father Sanchez, Rizal's favorite teacher in Antonio, defended and praised it in public. Farewell to Calamba. Friars exerted pressure on Malacañang Palace to eliminate Rizal. They asked Governor General Terrero to deport Rizal, but he refused because there was no valid charge against Rizal in court. Anonymous threats against Rizal's life were received by his parents. The alarmed parents, relatives, and friends advised him to leave the Philippines, for his life was in danger. Rizal had to go, but was not running like a coward from a fight. He was courageous, a fact which his worst enemies could not deny. He was not afraid of any man, neither he was afraid to die. He was compelled to leave Calamba for two reasons. His presence in Calamba was jeopardizing the safety of the happiness and his family of friends. He could fight better in enemies and serve his conscious cause with greater efficacy and writing in foreign countries.
After completing his studies at the University of Santo Tomas, Jose Rizal decided to travel to Europe to study, while also learning and promoting his ideology of Filipino freedom, nationalism, and independence, as well as equality with the Spaniards. On May 1882, Rizal traveled to Europe without informing his parents. He arrived in Naples on June 11, 1882. On November 3rd of the same year, Jose Rizal enrolled in two courses at the Universidad Central de Madrid. Rizal studied philosophy, letters, and medicine at the University of Madrid. During his stay, he also made new friends with the Lunas, Paternos, and other Filipinos.